Yeah. So I thought Destiny's joke's pretty.
I just thought to give my position real quick. I actually think that these jokes are necessary in order to have a good political outcome. I think that part of the failures of the Democratic Party is, in fact, stemming from the fact that you are too afraid to make edgy jokes or too afraid of whatever. I know that lots of people like to talk about optics and such, right? Good, I agree. Because I think that making edgy jokes is good optics. I think that when you make edgy jokes, you kind of send a message that you're the cool person, that you're the alpha in the room, okay, that you're the Giga Chad in the political space. I think by caving in and by backing out and by acting kind of like wishy-washy, trying to step on glass, and then catering to dipshit lefties, I think that's like very much very counterproductive, and I think that's probably what cost us the election. But one of the major contributing factors. Let's just say that, okay. Um, yeah, that's what I think.
Funny, but somehow the right wing was able to capitalize this and shift the conversation from horrible policy by Ted Cruz and the right wing got a bunch of people killed to, oh, some guy was mean. So we're letting the right wing drive this outrage machine. They don't fucking care. Marjorie
Mhm.
Taylor Greene can call us all pedophiles.
This is why I agree with Soy Pill and Destiny the most. I would probably say, because I think that if we're in this position, if we're in this position right now where right wingers can joke about whatever they want without any kind of consequence, meanwhile on the other side, it oftentimes feel as though left wingers cannot joke about jack shit. They can't do anything. Like they don't have that much maneuverability. In my opinion, maneuverability is the most important aspect. Okay, when you feel like you can maneuver a lot in terms of rhetoric and jokes and stuff like that, you probably have more power than the other side because you feel like you have shifted the public perspective so much to the point where, oh, whenever Bob does it, it's just Bob being Bob. Oh, but then when Mary does it, it's forbidden now because girls shouldn't make edgy jokes. Wait, why is it so then guys can make edgy jokes? Why are we okay with guys making edgy jokes then? Why aren't we treating like Mary the same as Bob? Well, it's probably because we eventually, as a society, we have like shifted more towards accepting that Bob is always going to be like boys will be boys, right, or whatever the fuck. Like this is part of the problem, right? Yeah, this is part of the problem. You don't want to be Mary, you want to be like Bob, right? You want to move more towards Bob. You want to move away from the maneuverability that Mary has, right?
She
Yeah.
doesn't get repercussions. The only reason we're allowed to do it now is because they're blocking the Epstein file release. But vibes.
And I think right now, I think Democrats really have to ask themselves, is what we're doing working or is what we're doing not working, right? Because I think that's a really important question to ask. But I think what is also important to ask is, well, not important to ask. Another important point is you shouldn't let bad faith actors in this moment tell you what you do or shouldn't do. I think that you should only take advice or discuss this topic with people who share the same goal with you, which is capitalizing and maximizing liberal power. Okay, that means not taking any advice from Asmongold, not taking any advice from communists, not taking any advice from leftists. You only take advice and talk about how to capitalize on this with liberals. Okay, because you share the same political goal as these people, but these other people, they're working against you. Okay, the advice they give to you are in bad faith. Okay, I think that I have covered this topic pretty extensively at this point, and I think that I have also seen, I don't know, like I've also seen so many discussions surrounding this, and there's just so much bad faith feedback, and I don't know, I feel like I'm really brain rotted on this topic now. But yeah,
Do matter,
that's it.
and look at the vibe conversation. Like, Kamala didn't lose because she was too mean. She lost because she didn't go on these podcasts where she could be more authentic. Joe
Right.
Rogan, Theo Von, Nelk Boys, and they tell Holocaust jokes, rape jokes, like all sorts of wild shit. Like, it's this idea that, oh, well, you're not authentic enough, but also you have to be prim and proper and perfect because if you don't, like, you're not cool. I'm not arguing for there to be no policing. We can call it illegal things like calls to violence, sex
You should
crimes.
say
But why waste our
yeah, I
time complaining
agree.
about optics to some arbitrary amount of voters who
Sure.
care about optics over policy? I'm willing to change my mind. I don't know, Kyla, you might have this. If you can show me some data that says, oh, voters left the Democrats because of crass humor and meanness, but I've heard far more people say they leave the left because they're policing too much and telling white men to sit down and be quiet. So I say let the white boys have their summer. Stop wasting energy clutching your pearls at fucking nothing. Save it for educating people on policy that actually matters. We tried to go high. When they go low, we lost 2 elections doing it. They're going to find outrage regardless. It's a waste of time.
Okay, and with that, let's open the floor. Go ahead, gang.
Yeah, so
Sure.
actually let's go ahead and you tell me, number one, which part is funny. I'll tell you which part is funny to me. And then also tell me where we're talking about Ted Cruz's policy, because that's part of your rebuttal, is that there's this 3,000 IQ appeal to hypocrisy understanding baked into the tweet. So let's see if we can find that through some literary analysis. So I heard God killed those kids. Okay. Because
do you
they
want me
were
to tell you
using
why I think it's funny?
NordVPN. I'm not done yet. Oh, you think that's funny?
No, do you want me to tell you why I think the joke is funny?
In a second. So
Well,
they were using
heard the tweet. You don't
NordVPN
have to read it
promo
all
code
slowly.
Destiny. Hold on, real quick.
Let him go.
I just want to explain the promo code. As much as I hated this fucking joke and it pissed me off, promo code VPN was fucking hysterical. Like,
yeah,
objectively,
that's the part I thought was funny.
That's the funniest part of the fucking joke, right?
Okay.
All right. Now, to get around the Texas porn ban, gross. The girls who got killed were 8 years old to 13 years old. Okay. Now, where is the appeal to hypocrisy amongst conservatives, and where's the explanation of like Republicans canceling funding for ARP for doing the siren in this area?
Well, so you're attacking 2 different arguments in the same breath. One of them, you're saying that somehow edgy jokes must also be calling out hypocrisy. I don't think that's necessary. I just
No,
like
that's the
being
authentic
authentic.
position that DGG is doing 100%.
Well, I'm not DGG. If you want to talk to DGG, talk to them. I'm talking
Well, you just
to
did
the well, no, I'm saying that edgy jokes are fine, and we should also be calling out hypocrisy from the Republicans. You don't need to do these things
How's Connor throwing already? He can't be throwing this fast, right? Why?
in the same breath. But second of all, if anything, if I'm not mistaken, did Destiny not go on Piers Morgan and then defend the attack the hypocrisy to like a whole crowd of millions of people? Like, that is a conversation starter, as much as you might not like it.
So Stephen, that's an important question. Did you think that you were going to become is this an avant-garde marketing strategy? Did you think you were going to get an invite from Piers Morgan? You're like, I'm going to tweet out about dead kids jerking off to porn, and this is 100% going to result in people inviting me onto their shows?
Possibly. I would just like to clarify one part on the joke, though. You said that it was gross that they were underage and it was a porn joke. Well, that was why God was punishing them. If they were adults that were using NordVPN to watch porn, then God wouldn't punish them. So it wouldn't make any sense, would it, Connor?
No,
Like,
God would still punish
Number
them
one.
because,
Could I just
Number
can
two,
I-
wait,
can I-
real quick, to answer the
Yeah.
question, because did I know I could invite it? I don't know, maybe not. I generally, at this point, when it comes to edgy humor and conservatives, I don't necessarily make these jokes with like some huge grand master plan in mind. I just think liberals need to be way less fucking soy about making fun of conservatives for retarded shit. They've like moved the window of acceptable behavior so unbelievably far in one direction that at this point, I refuse to be policed by actual subhuman degenerate filth about what we can or can't joke about when they make the most unhinged degenerate jokes ever. And I have seen absolutely zero evidence whatsoever that this go low, go high, whatever bullshit has ever worked ever for liberals. It seems like all of the most popular moments have usually been when they're kind of roasting the other side a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. And then it feels like liberals are the ones that have the
hold on.
most
Is that
negative
why
reaction to
Beto
it. So.
O'Rourke won? Is that why Beto O'Rourke won in Texas? Was because he was being so hardcore when he said that I'm going to take away your AR-15s? Was he giga chatting in that moment? Was that a popular take that he had?
He almost won. Yeah. Didn't Beto O'Rourke like actually almost won? Or am I misremembering this? Did I like did I amplify like what he actually did or something? No? Oh fuck. Okay, fuck me, dude. Okay, never mind. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't because he was being edgy, right? It was because you like campaigned on a really unpopular issue, right? That's what he was doing, right? Like he was, yeah, like you campaign on really unpopular issue. That must be it, right? Yeah.
I don't know, but the most popular take I remember Beto O'Rourke having about weapons was when he said something about like "fuck your AR-15s."
Tim, right?
There was a big deal. He
Yeah,
cussed
that's
about
exactly what I'm talking about. So obviously you can be giga chat about good things and you can be giga chat about bad things,
Yeah,
and
in
you can
Texas.
get punished for being giga chat about bad things and rewarded for being giga chat about good things, right? The stand
I
Beta.
guess. I don't know. That
Beta
wasn't really a
or-
joke he was making, though. He was just saying a swear word, no?
Yeah, but you made correct me if I'm wrong, but you made the argument that the time that Democrats have most succeeded is when they haven't been soy, when they haven't been milquetoast, and they've stand on business. Well, I feel like Beto
I don't know if
stood on
they've ever
business
gotten
in that
credit.
moment.
I don't think they've ever gotten credit ever for being like kind and nice to conservative stuff. I just don't know where this is
I don't
happening
think we're
yet.
asking you to be kind or nice. I think you could have been
No,
incredibly
not about me. I'm just
abrasive.
saying
You made
that
the same
I'm
point.
just saying that in general in general on the Democrat side, this like call to being kind and compassionate and empathetic and understanding. I just don't know if like Democrats have ever gotten credit ever on that.
Yeah, you're right. Everybody calls you pussies. Yes.
Yeah, I want to give Kyla a chance to get in. She was trying to get in earlier. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I just want to make sure to reframe this because even Soapill's opening made it seem like this is about edgy jokes, which is understandable because I think for Wick it's about edgy jokes. I'm not totally sure. I just want to be very clear. I don't give a fuck about edgy jokes. I don't give a single rip. You make as many edgy jokes as you want to. I don't give a fuck about any of this shit. What I care about here fundamentally is our predisposition in how we are willing to talk to the opposing side. And I think that that is something that is decaying, not just amongst leftists, which had never existed, but I'm seeing it decay within liberals. And I think that that is harmful to our cause, right? So in the case of like Steven's edgy joke, okay, well, yeah, unfortunately, it was way more offensive than it was funny. It was a little fancy, it was a lot offensive, and it was made more offensive by the timing. So it flopped to even the point that the left didn't like it, right? But again, I don't really care. I'm not interested in just policing people's edgy joke. What I'm interested in is thinking about how we talk to and engage with one another. For example, Soipo, the way that you talk to Tally on that panel, I think is part of the problem.
I don't know why I haven't turned that off yet.
I don't think that this is how you are ontologically all the time, but I think this idea where we talk to people of opposite ideas, we go as aggressive as possible, and we try to tear down not just like who they are, but their humanity. I mean, some of the statements that I quoted from you saying I think were like pretty shitty, right? It's not just about you're being a little bit mean. It's this entire orientation which says if we want democracy to work, we have to be able to talk to the other side. And while I'll be the first to say that I think the right is full of crazy people and assholes, they're crazy people and assholes that we have to be able to talk to and convince to our side. And I'm not seeing that like the smug nastiness or scorched earth policy that I would criticize Stephen of with, say, like maybe a Tectone or an Asmongold is going to be effective for polaring particularly moderates and undecided towards our position.
Wait, real quick, just as a real quick thing on that, isn't that exactly what Trump did with the entire tech bro movement, though?
True.
Like, didn't he pull in a bunch of people, like record high Hispanic voters, record high tech bro people, Elon Musk, like with the most divisive and vitriolic and toxic rhetoric ever? Didn't he pull in a ton of random?
Yeah, sure, but people are stupid.
But are we assuming,
hold on. I want to back up
What?
there.
Yeah, what does Connor mean by this? Oh yeah, but sure, but people are stupid. Wait, what do you mean? These are the people that you want to pull in? Well. Okay, so why can't you appeal to their stupidity as a liberal, right? Like, why can't you do that from your point of view? If they're stupid enough to fall for, MAGAism, why aren't they stupid enough to fall for liberalism? What the fuck?
No, that's a terrible
Let
fucking
Kyla
stupid
finish, please. Let Kyla finish.
The issue is you would have to submit to me evidence that it was him.
Soapill's like 75 IQ ever since the Luigi debate panel. Did he argue for pro-Luigi? I can't remember.
Him being a fucking asshole versus Kamala, A, getting switched last minute so they didn't even know who they were voting for, and B, on top of that,
Yes, he did. Okay, then he's retarded. Yeah.
her
But for the record, I still think that I agree with his position a lot more than Kyla or counterpoints in this specific instance.
entire mantra was essentially let's keep things the same when people desperately wanted change. So
Yeah, that's not good.
No.
maybe
The point,
it was
Kyla, the
being
point isn't
based-
that it's attracting voters necessarily. It's the point is that it's clearly
I mean, to me, Soipo just seems like very scorched earth on every single subject, right? Like what? Like he's pro Luigi, pro edginess, pro whatever. I mean, sure, maybe we rely on some things just because of that, but like otherwise, it's just weird.
not alienating all these moderates, that they're still voting for him in these record high numbers. Like this
Well,
isn't
yeah,
some
but hold on.
poison that's going to destroy the Democratic Party and their chances of winning.
Yeah, but Tally is the person that's winnable. I watched the Tally bots live in.
Tally, what? If Tally has not been won over now, she would never be won over. What? No shot, right? I feel like, whenever like a MAGA person goes like becomes more left leaning, I feel as though it has to be an internal review. It can't be an external review. I just don't think so. I don't think it can be an external thing. I just don't think so. You like fuck. Like I feel like sure. I mean maybe sure, but like the thing is that a lot of like a lot of like these like changing in ideologies, you know, when I ask people about it, they're always like, well, you know, I looked within myself and I asked myself, do I actually care about the United States or do I not care about the United States? I I I think that I actually care about the United States. So therefore, I am no longer MAGA. Like it's never that, oh yeah, it's my cousin that pulled me out of it. No one ever says that. Oh, it's my family members that pulled me out of it. No one ever says that, right? I was never MAGA. I spy voted against the left in the blue state. Sucks, but it is no. If you vote for Trump, you are a Trump voter by definition. Like yeah, that's about it. If you're a Trump voter and you do not say definitively that you're going to vote for a Democrat next election cycle, you are still a Trump voter in my eyes, at the very least, practically speaking. Okay, I'm just saying. All right.
Callie-
bully session.
Callie
And
is
so-
stupid, and I don't
Okay,
care
that doesn't
if,
matter.
if
By
being
the way-
nice to her is going to
Okay.
win her over. We should
It's over, dude. You can't take that.
Soy
be
dude.
pill.
You
educating
gotta
around
roast this
policy.
guy.
That's a
Soy
completely
pill.
different conversation.
Soy pill. Regardless of whether or not you question Tally's individual intelligence, democracy is about appealing to stupid people.
Right, and there's
I
a
don't
big
know if you knew
difference.
that.
Hold on,
So hold
Connor,
on,
just
hold
to
on.
be
No,
clear,
I'm not
because
done-
you don't know,
I'm not
because
done
you don't
yet.
know,
I'm not
because you
done
don't know
yet.
my
I'm not
position.
done yet.
Hey,
I'm not done yet.
let
I'm not done
Counter,
yet.
let Counterpoints finish his
All right,
point. Then you
let him
respond to
strawman
Counter.
me for 5 minutes, and then I can give my real position.
No. I'll take about 1 minute. And on top of that, I'll be very precise with my language, which doesn't have anything about your character involved in it, okay? What's funny is Tally is in a red state, but she's a blue person. She did not think that her vote really mattered, and what she wanted was to do a protest vote, effectively saying the Democrats are not catering to me as a part of the base, and I am your natural supporter. And your guys' reaction to that so far hasn't been, damn, we lost kind of like a progressive, liberal, Jewish girl. What are we doing?
Oh my god, dude. Connor, shut the fuck up.
That's so
dude.
off-putting. Your entire perspective has been struggle sessioning her and calling her a
The I'm sorry, but Tally, listen, Tally is not everyone, okay? Tally isn't every single moderate that you're trying to get on your side, period, okay? Tally is a person who is part of a minority population, okay? Who is maybe a Trump supporter, who is now having second thoughts, okay? This is not... I don't think that population is even remotely close to the amount of moderates out there that is way more left-leaning or not there to vote to spite, I guess.
fucking idiot. Which, by the way,
Well, hold
other
on.
moderates are going to
man, I
see,
called
and they're
her a
going to be like, well,
retard, to
fuck
be
you
clear.
too.
I called her a retard for to be clear. And second of all, I'm not saying that we shouldn't
Cool.
be advocating for educating people on what policy affects them and how they should be
Just
voting
clear,
differently.
Tolly's in
But
a
clearly,
blue state.
if this person is so adverse to learning about the consequences of policy that whoever was mean to her last or whatever kind of perception she has of which party is nicer or less adverse, like that's what she votes on, why would I waste time
Hey,
on this person
so
who's
hold on,
let
no,
me
no, no.
finish. I let you finish your stupid
Uh-huh.
thing. No, so when she is on a platform and the topic is, hey, Tolly, what do Democrats need to do? That's when I'm going to come at you. Like my channel is about reaching out to Trump supporters, which is a very different thing. I understand the point of compassion, the point of letting them speak, and understanding why they voted so that we can change them. But when these pundits are out here saying the dumbest shit ever, displaying their lack of intelligence, I'm going to come up and I'm going to be mean to them because that's my authentic feeling, is that they're fucking retarded. They need to shut the fuck up. That's a very different conversation than trying to convince a swath of people to come over. And these things can be done in parallel.
Okay, so I want to acknowledge what Wick said, which is effectively that she was in an overwhelming blue state,
Yeah.
so she didn't think that her vote was going to matter, so it was the opposite of what I said, but the point still stands. All right,
Yeah.
so here's my fucking frustration with this, okay? So I get exactly what you said, and on top of that, plurality of tactics, all right? So if Steven wants to be fucking edgy, you want to have debates, and then you want to be nice to some people but mean to some people, I totally understand a plurality of tactics, okay? But what I'm saying is there's something so fundamentally obvious that should be acknowledged by every single fucking Democrat and isn't, which is effectively on October 7th, 2023, you had tons of progressives, not just leftists, saying, well, you know, Palestinians live in an open-air prison, so what was Hamas supposed to do? while there's people getting raped and murdered on Twitter, and then a bunch of Jews go, oh shit, my progressive coalition, my multi-ethnic, multi-religious coalition actually views me as subhuman and laughs when fucking my people get murdered. What the fuck?
Yeah,
and they got
well,
so
I think
turned
so. Real
off,
quick,
they
I think
moved
that the
away
issue,
from the Democrats.
the issue here isn't about edgy jokes. The issue is that legitimately a lot of people on the left supported Hamas terrorist attacking Israel. I think that was the issue.
Well, no shit. That's why I brought it up in my intro.
Well, yeah, but,
But
but
that's in
this
my
isn't an
intro. I
issue.
said no calls to violence. Dude.
Well, but
that's like
well,
kind of
this isn't an issue of like edgy humor. This is an issue of like really incompatible policy positions. I think. I think the issue when it comes to this like weird like joke or rhetoric policing is you've got like I don't know enough about Talia, but was that her name? Talia? Tali?
Tali.
Okay. So I'm not saying she's an extremist or whatever,
Who's
just because I just
Tali?
don't know her positions. But it feels like when talking about her, it's the equivalent of like soy pilled or the soy pill over here is like somebody who speeds occasionally in his car, and Tali is like kind of sort of wanting to support the mob. And then, you know, we've got the soy pill speeding in his car, and we're like, well, she's just not going to side with you if you're a criminal. And it's like, okay, I just don't think speeding is that big of a deal. It's not really about the speeding. It's the fact that how are you aligned with the mob and complaining about one side speeding? That just doesn't make any sense to me. That's soy as fuck. Not in the soy pill way,
Well,
but like in an actual like.
Okay,
so like,
hold on.
so
Stop. We have to stop framing this as an edgy joke issue. Maybe that's Connor's issue. I don't know. And this isn't even a moral issue to me, to be super frank. What I'm talking about is effectiveness.
Dude, Connor's actually giga retarded, dude. He's like, oh, every single time you make an edgy joke, you're causing soul damage to yourself, or some shit. Like this is his, dude. Give me a break, dude. What exactly is more important, causing soul damage to someone, or is it, or is it black bagging migrants off the streets? Which one is more important?
I do
here,
not
baby?
think that
Buddy,
super
bitty,
divisiveness
bitty,
is what is
buddy,
effective.
bitty,
I don't
buddy,
think it's what's been effective for Trump at all in any way, because he lost in 2016 despite getting smeared
Psychic
aggressively
damage. No,
by the
soul
Democrats.
damage, soul
He
damage. I
still
did
won,
definitely mean
had a
soul
weak
damage.
presidency, and then Joe Biden won because everyone was sick of how divisive he was. And then he won
think-
again, but again, in large
I think
part
Biden won
we had an
because
incumbent.
I think Biden won because of COVID. I think COVID fucked the whole world up and everybody's mad. But it's like Trump literally tried to steal the presidency and like didn't lose as
agree.
bad as anywhere as he should have, and then he won again. And Trump is like probably the most divisive president or person period that I've seen in I don't know my lifetime. So it just seems like the divisiveness is not a thing that scares people away from your movement. I just don't know where that idea comes from, because especially if you look at the big group of people that vote for him, white people, like what's the reason they cite the most for wanting to be with Trump? It's like wokeness, which seems to play right into divisive and edgy jokes.
Well, actually, part of the issue is wokeness is something that you guys don't really do. Maybe Soy is leaning into it. I'm not really sure. Wokeness is generally this like PR policy of canceling and like purifying people out of our group to say that they're not good enough. That's calling everyone a racist and all these sorts of things. It's a thing that got you banned off of Twitch, right? And it's a thing that if Soy Pill went on TikTok for 1 second, it would get banned him off of because he uses edgy jokes too, right? So wokeness is incredibly divisive, and it is driving people away because people fucking hate it. And so when I'm talking about being mean, I'm not saying don't be mean. That's never been my position. I'm clearly mean to people all the time. What I'm saying is we have to be mean effectively. And I don't think scorched earth is effective policy. In the case of your joke, it was funny, and I bet you if you gave it 2 weeks to breathe, it might have actually landed super well. Unfortunately, it didn't, because the offensive level was higher than the funniness, probably because of the immediacy of the event happening. Unfortunately, right? I'm not saying
But
don't
that
make those
that
jokes.
analysis can't ever be applied to anything for conservatives, though. Why do we have two
I
forms
don't
of
give
analysis?
a fuck about conservatives winning.
You just said,
I don't care
wait,
about them
you
winning.
should care about it because you're saying you care about political effectiveness. They just won both halves of Congress. They control the Supreme Court, and they won the presidency even with a popular vote. So clearly, what they're doing is effective. So I don't know how we can say, well, I don't care about the conservatives.
Well,
I
hold
just
on,
want to be
but
effective.
this is
And they're the
what's-
But
most
is what's
effective I've ever
effective
been.
what's
Trump
bullshit about your
calling people
point.
rats? Is that what's effective?
I think that's what literally
Well,
that's what
and
people
also,
like about him. If you
Steven,
ask
this
people what do
point
they
is
like about
bullshit.
Trump, they don't say the policy. They don't know any of Trump's policies. They don't say. They just say,
Well,
like,
hold
oh,
on,
yeah,
hold
he
on.
tells it
This
like
is
it
total
is, meaning he
bullshit,
makes fun
and
of
I'm not going
people.
to let it slide. But I'm calling bullshit right now, okay? So number one, I've had DGG in my fucking comments for the past fucking week because I've effectively had my milquetoast criticism of the fucking take or whatever. And what they've all said is like, well, look at how mean Tectone was. And look how mean and stupid Asmongold is. And look how mean and stupid Donut Operator was in reference to the Palisades fire. And so I go and check the fucking tweets and they go, fuck you, Biden. So where's the direct analog to this specific?
There is a direct analog. Paul Pelosi, hammer attack, sexualizing Greta Thunberg, the Pizzagate shooter, anytime a MAGA father kills their own kids, okay, or kills like a bunch of other people, all right, there is an equilibrium. There is an equal example for every single one of the things that Connor have said here, but he is using specifically examples where they are actually being milquetoast, okay? No one cares about these fucking milquetoast kinds of things, okay? Okay, pre-watch? No, I didn't pre-watch. I promise, okay?
Behavior where you're making fun of fucking dead people.
Where, first of all, it wasn't just fuck you, Biden. One was a fuck you to a request for FEMA funds, I think. Another one was blaming Biden and calling him old and decrepit for not, for he didn't go to, it was either Texas or California or something. Another one was like making fun of LGBT people and DEI. Is it the exact equivalent? No, but it's like insanely tasteless. What is the...
Is that equivalent to mocking the dead?
So
I don't give a fuck about mocking the dead. I'll make fun of the dead right now. I'm talking about other people who care about that shit.
An equivalent to mocking the dead. An equivalent to mocking the dead would be all of the Democrats, or not the Democrats. It would be Tim Pool and others who are making fun of the one dude on the street in New York that got stabbed to death in front of his girlfriend, who are like, this is exactly the kind of thing that these guys vote for. Or the go-to example is the...
celebrate it when they're all burning.
Hold on. This isn't about being equivocal. This isn't about being
I'm going to
equivocal.
challenge you.
This isn't about being equivocal.
This is bullshit.
No.
I'm not going
We
to let it
have to
slide.
have a high...
Or it's Asmongold saying, yeah, I want to be in an Ash Ketchum costume while I go out and accompany ICE on fucking kidnapping migrants. Like what are we talking about? Yeah, of course there's an equivalent.
Higher standard. We already hold ourselves to a higher standard than Republicans. They have no morals. Have you not read Lauren Southern's book?
Wait.
You have people unironically taking money to peddle false information. It's only the right that has done bad things.
But is it
No,
moral
no, you guys are
standards or is
missing
it
the
political
point.
effectiveness? Which one is it then? Those are two different things.
Hold on, and
you're
before we
saying
move on,
that we
I
should
want
do
to
whatever
issue
the
a
Republicans
challenge.
do because they're already doing bad stuff. And I am saying, I don't know if these are the standards that we want to hold ourselves to. For example, if it is, why don't you just spread a bunch of misinfo and start paying for bot farms?
The question is whether we want political effectiveness or moral standards.
Let's give him
I think there's a different morality about making fun of people versus like
Maybe.
lying about stuff. I would argue that these are two different things. But the question is just, are we talking about political effectiveness or are we talking about like having some go high when they go low road moral standard
So hold
thing?
on. No, I want to make one point and I want to challenge the audience, okay? Because what I'm hearing is turnabout is fair play. And so what I'm looking about is turnabout. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So if you want to come up with other egregious behaviors that the right wing is engaged in, I'm going to agree with you. I endlessly bitch about the $9 billion rescission package that's projected to kill 14 million people. Trust me, I care way more about that than I care about Steven's fucked up joke, okay? However,
moral standards
that being
are
said,
part of
if you're going to
political
say, I'm not
effectiveness.
done yet, Erudite,
I'm
thank
sorry,
you.
you're yapping.
I'm not done
The
yet,
FCG
Erudite,
falling
thank
apart
you.
and
I'm not done yet,
destroying
Kyla, thank
MAGA?
you.
Okay.
I'm not done yet,
Let
Kyla, thank you.
counterpoints finish.
I'm not done
Let
yet.
counterpoints finish.
Thank you.
Land your
All
plane.
right, thank
sir.
you.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I challenge you. Send it to my DMs. Send it to my
They're
email.
crashing out already,
Show
it's
me
over.
where these alt media pundits have been shitting on the dead people in the Palisades fires. Send it to me, please.
Kyla, now it's your turn. Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. I shouldn't go aggro on Connor. He's my debate partner. So the issue for me is that moral standards can be part of a political effectiveness, particularly if they're your espoused moral standards, right? The left typically has stood on some level of moral standards. We think that we're better. We're not trying to steal elections. We're not trying to spread misinformation. We're not trying to take away people's rights. That's the standards that we stand upon, which is why it would be really ineffective advocacy if we say all these things and then there's evidence that we're doing the opposite. This is why MAGA is in an absolute blowout right now, because one of the standards that they cared about was like truth and justice, particularly around the Epstein files, and Trump is completely caving to that, and it is causing a massive Republican fallout. There is massive schism going on as a result of them not standing up to some of their standards. Now, I agree that the Republicans
No, they don't care about truth, bro. Wait, what is she talking about? What? Like, literally every single Trump appearance, he lies. He lies. Like, he just lies. What is she talking about?
Republican standards of being a pundit is not the standards that I want the left to have. But that's because I think the left is right. I think reality leans left, and there are certain standards that I don't want to fall to. And one of the standards, for example, here is one that I actually don't think Republicans fail very hard, which is how we talk to people who we disagree with. Typically, when I go into Republican spaces, they're going to say a bunch of stupid information and they're going to spread misinfo, and at worst, they'll be bad faith. However, if I go into leftist spaces, as you personally know, Stephen, as Soy Pill, I literally just go on TikTok once and debate people, and I'm sure you'll experience it. The leftists are fucking deranged. They're super nasty. They try to destroy your career, and they morally condemn you along lines and values that you hold, like not being a racist. And so we keep losing in these ways because in part, we allowed the leftists to set the tone of what the left looks like, which we should have never agreed to at
Kyla, can I
all.
interrupt you?
But
'Cause
in
you've
converse,
made-
no,
Dude, Kyla is not beating the Steven clone allegations, dude. She's not wrong, but she's like saying verbatim what Destiny said about the left. But she just takes like the first fucking takes for some reason. Why?
you don't
Two
get to interrupt me.
completely
No, one second,
incongruent
one second.
arguments right
Let-
But
now.
in
let her
converse,
finish
in
the thought.
converse, yeah, it's a two-parted argument. I'm sorry, Soy Pill, if that's hard for you to keep up on. Okay.
We can do one
the
at a time.
second part is how we engage with those who are opposite. Some of the most, I will just say this, at the TPUSA event, every single conservative that came up was super excited to see Destiny. They're like, he's so good, he's so smart. But man, I
Oh
wish you
my
wouldn't make fun
God.
of
Wow, they're so polite. Yes, it's almost as if we live in a society, people have some decency, but at the voting booth, they're voting to kill people. It's almost as if that is the case. Yeah, no shit, Kyla. Yeah, no shit. Just because they're nice doesn't mean that they're not voting to kill you. Not voting to not kill you, or whatever the fuck, all right?
dead kids. And all through the canvassing events, do you know how many people came up to me who were conservatives who were polled
Oh
because of your
my
red pill arc?
God.
Where to this day, Myron Gaines respects you because even
Bro, if you voted for Trump, you're voting to kill people. What are you talking about, mate? Dude, she is... Oh my God, dude. Bro, she's so delusional.
though you disagreed with him the entire time,
Like she's acting like I have to treat conservatives like human beings when they don't even treat me like human beings. Like, dude, are you actually kidding me, dude? You're telling me I need to treat the people who dehumanize everyone else at every single given opportunity to treat them like human beings? Excuse me?
and even though you were harsh on it, you were not nasty and you didn't go scorched earth, or you didn't do this like smug condescending shit that like leftists and I think Soy Pill think is based. That was effective. It just was effective, and I think that there is mounds of evidence to support that.
Okay,
I'm still here. I'm just turning off my
two
camera.
things.
Let's go to Soy Pill and
Yeah.
Soy Pill, and
two,
then
two things. One, and on one side of your mouth, you're saying, hey, the left is losing because we're policing and we're woke and we're calling people racist and we have these standards and it's driving people away, which is what is happening when people are complaining about Destiny's joke. Oh, you can't do that. That's crossing a line. And this is exactly what I'm talking about in the beginning when I said there's an authenticity problem where people look at like a Dean.
She's not talking about ultra occultists. She wants to win over uninformed regards and centrists. Yeah, but I don't even think that's true. I don't think so. I don't even think she believes that by being polite you are able to win over moderates. But that didn't work though, hasn't it? Right? Like you think that you think that being polite does win over centrists. Fine, you believe that. Fine, I can totally see your logic and reasoning within that. Okay, fine. It doesn't work. People tried it. It doesn't work. Okay, I'm just saying.
Harry Sisson, and you just saw him maybe on the Adam Friedland show. He wouldn't say retarded because he's like, I can't do that. That's my democratic, handlers won't let me say the nasty words.
Sure.
And that's why no one fucking likes them because they're lame and manufactured. Meanwhile, you've got all these people that Trump, went on their podcast and he appeared authentic to. And that's the reason why people say they like Trump is the being authentic and saying what.
Basically, I'm beginning to think that the amount of people we bring over by appealing to moderates off of being polite is not surpassing the amount of people we could be bringing over by being edgy. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys? As in, like, I think that we can persuade a different part of the moderate audience to become left-leaning and vote left if much more than being by if you okay let's just say you convince 40% of moderates, okay, of that possible base to vote left, okay, 40% of the moderate base to vote left. But if you were edgy, you could have converted 60% of them, okay? 40% versus 60%. Hypothetically speaking, could that be the case? I'm beginning to think it is. I'm beginning to think it is because guess what? By being polite, maybe we did actually win over that 40%. And Not So Erudite can go, yeah, you know what? Look at that. Look at that. Boom. Dunks work more than friendliness? Yes, there you go. Okay, there you go. And fine. Yes, there you go. Boom. Okay, there you go. Okay, fuck it. Someone put into Zoomer terms and it worked. Okay? I need to stop putting things into boomer, scientific, whatever the fuck, pretentious
You feel,
terms.
and you can say, "Oh,
Okay,
I don't
need
want to
stop
go
doing
down to that standard," but in the same breath, you're saying, "Well, we shouldn't steal elections. We shouldn't spread misinfo." Obviously, but that is not what is happening right now. What's happening is people are policing jokes because they're too
Nope.
edgy and you're too mean. And
Nope.
when
Hold
you
on,
say
stop
there's a
saying
way,
that.
hold on, no,
Soy
hold
Pill,
on.
stop,
I'm
stop,
sorry.
stop.
I thought we
No,
weren't
Soy Pill,
interrupting,
you
Kyla.
have to
I thought it was
actually
don't
engage with my
interrupt time.
arguments.
Well,
I don't
you
know how
have to
many
engage with
times
my
I have to
argument.
tell you it's not
Oh
about
my
edgy
God, I don't
jokes,
know how
and if
many
you
times
keep
you have
citing
to
that,
interrupt me before I can finish my sentence.
if you keep strawmanning me, I'm going to interrupt you to correct your perception of
I
my argument
know
because you have to
you're
talk
not.
to
But Erudite's not against edginess. She's just against blind edginess, just making fun of dead children just to be extreme. No, I don't think it's too extreme. It's not blind edginess. I think it is strategic edginess, actually. I think so.
me.
I know
And
you
stop
think I'm
saying
criticizing
jokes.
you.
And stop saying jokes because that's
sorry,
not
I
what
truly
I'm
do
saying.
think
Why
so.
are we here, Kyla? Was it not because of an edgy joke?
I literally said at the very beginning that that might be Wick's issue, and that is,
Okay.
but that isn't my issue. And then I
Okay.
gave an entire argument.
I'll
You
say it's
want to
my
engage
issue.
with me?
Okay, it's counter. Okay, so you I guess shouldn't be here for the topic of the joke thing. You should be here for the how do we talk to people. And obviously,
Well,
I
hold
agree
on.
with
I
you,
think
by
I
the way.
Hold on.
texted Wick
It's
and I said
all
explicitly.
connected. Let me explain this. It's all connected. These jokes is how we treat people. They feel that you're laughing, but it's true.